Through your worship, I did mention 4 years.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. B, Regional Municipality of Halton Resolution by American provision in the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. Councilor Vokes moves, supported by Councilor Caxero. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Oh, that's a long one. C, Ministry of Transportation exemption request, Town of Essex bylaw number 690, noise bylaw. Councilor Bondi, supported by Councilor Caxero. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. D, Association of Municipalities of Ontario, request for nominations 2014 to 16 annual Board of Directors vacancies. Moved by Councilor Vokes, supported by Deputy Mayor Meloche. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? All in favor? Motion carries. Committee of Adjustment agenda, Tuesday, December the 16th, 2014. Councilor Vokes moves, supported by Councilor Caxero. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Ministry of Citizenship, Immigration and International Trade, Ontario Medal for Young Volunteers and Ontario Volunteer Service Awards. Councilor Vokes, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Canadian Blood Services mobile signs in the town of Essex and Arrow.
Move the recommendation.
Councilor Caxero, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. And there are a few signs out there.
Wasn't a recommendation.
Shouldn't miss them now. Anybody that wants to give blood, they're well signed area. All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Committee meeting minutes, Communities in Bloom, September 23rd, moved by Councilor Vokes, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Move. Committee of Adjustment, October 21st, 2014. Moved by Councilor Vokes, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. C, Heritage, May 22nd, 2014, June 19th, 2014. Councilor Vokes, Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Bylaws. Bylaw number 1359 being a bylaw to provide for the Essex Outlet Drain Bridge for Arthur Bennett. Councilor Bondi moves, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Bylaw number 1360 being a bylaw to provide for the Old Malden Road Drain Bridge to Drulard Farms Limited. Councilor Bondi moves, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Bylaw number 1376 being a bylaw to establish and recognize advisory and ad hoc committees for the town of Essex. Councilor Caxero moves, supported by the mayor. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. C, nope. Get back to the right spot here. Yep. D, bylaw number 1377 being a bylaw delegating the authority for the giving of consent. Councilor Caxero, supported by Councilor Bondi. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Bylaw number 1378 being bylaw delegating authority for the giving of minor variances. Councilor Bjorkman, supported by Councilor Caxero. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Bylaw number 1379 being a bylaw to enter into a contribution agreement between Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Ontario as represented by the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs for the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund. Moved by Councilor Vokes, supported by Councilor Caxero. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Bylaw number 1380 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of December 15, 2014 regular meeting of Council of the Corporation of the Town of Essex. Moved by Councilor Caxero, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Financial, October 2014 capital report. Motion received by Councillor Caxero, supported by Councillor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. New business. Mayor McDermott, alternate for mayor in the town's emergency management team. Could we go to the next one? Just because the deputy mayor isn't here and I want to hear his comments with regards to this emergency management meeting. Can we do the next one? Okay, thank you very much. Councilor Bondi, Essex County District School Board, Greater Essex County.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be looking for other council members to help with this because I unfortunately couldn't make the meeting, but I just thought it'd be adamant that Essex Council write a letter to the school board letting them know that Harrow High is definitely important to our local economy and local community center in Harrow. But I don't know if any council member has anything to add about what they'd like to see in the letter or to update the public about what happened at the board meeting, because unfortunately I can't speak to it because I wasn't there. But I'm just looking for council to support a letter to the school board tonight.
Okay, Councilor Caxero.
Through you, Your Worship. I believe with what's available online now with regards to how they're going to adjust the process, and that they wish to include the municipalities further than what they have. Possibly administration looking at that could maybe formulate something that will be palatable for us to, send away. So if they want to kind of draft something up and then maybe send it out to us, I think that'd probably be the best way to do it.
Just to let you know, Richard, we're at the Councilor Bondi's notice of motion about the school board meeting and everything. So, Mr. Bjorkman.
Yeah, there was a very good turnout at the school board meeting. There was a lot of support for the Harrow School. Also, Kingsville, most of our council was at the meeting. Kingsville Mayor Nelson Santos was at the meeting. Very good presentation, a great presentation by Mr. Baker on how Harrow has grown in their industrial sector and how those people are looking to bring more people into the town. And what's very important to families moving into a town is having a school and having somewhere there that their kids aren't being bussed out or sent elsewhere. So it was very good presentations, good representation on behalf of the high schools in our area.
Comment, Rich? You're there.
Thank you, through you, Your Worship. Just that, yes, I was in attendance as well, and I thought the presentations were very well presented. There were some different aspects to each of the presentations that were highlighted that would maybe give the school boards some food for thought. I think it's unfortunate that they're putting the town of Harrow, two schools, back into this position, five of these reports within 15 years, and they've promised that they wouldn't do it again for 5 years, and that was only 3 years ago. So I think it's unfortunate that this is all happening, but it is happening, so we have to deal with it. And I think we've got a strong case to help us keep the school there. And what we have to do is we just have to put on our best faces here and go out there and do a diligent job, build on some of the presentations that were already presented that night. Thank you.
Councilor Vokes?
Excuse me. Thank you, Your Worship. I fear that letter. This is just a letter, respectfully to you. Somebody gets a letter, I see them in their office, 8 o'clock in the morning, yawning, looking at it, and setting it on their desk. Their BlackBerry goes off, their phone goes off, and they're heading to a meeting, they never go back to the letter. And it's something that's important to our community. You're talking about a school, right? An education opportunity. And so we just, as a council, has a responsibility to our community. And just because it's the Greater School Board, they just say to us, well, we're going to do it. And our only opportunity for a reprise of that is send a letter. What is that? I don't think they're that important that they can't meet with this council and this administration, and we can share with them the values of what that means to us, because it's hitting us. It's hitting directly us. And if they can't give us the time of day to do that, then that strengthens our case even more to take them on and let it be publicly known that this council of the day wanted the opportunity to speak with their board, their directors, with this council, with administration, and try to understand why they're closing that school on us. Or we'll just send a letter. Letter's not going to do nothing. It's going to go through the paper shredder by 9:30. But if we send the invitation out to meet with them and they deny us that opportunity, we will let those people know. I'm not an advocate of the letter. I got nothing wrong with the letter. Let's send the letter. But the letter should say all, I don't want to say all this stuff about how it's important to us and geez, I wish you could reconsider. I want that letter to say meet with us. That's what I want the letter to say, meet with our administration and what it means to us in terms of building our community. Nobody's coming here without schools. All this work we're doing is just redundant, wasted work without schools. So I would suggest this council, we send a letter that says we want to meet with them at their convenience. We can roll a little red carpet out to them, but let them know when they can meet with us. And if they deny us that opportunity, then we take them on.
Thank you, sir. That's what, like you want this meeting, that's what that meeting was last week, Randy. Like our opportunity to sit in front of that board. And I don't know how many there are on that board. If there's 40 people, I don't know, like humongous. I couldn't believe how many people there were. And like they've already said, we had two people from Harrow make a presentation, Bill Baker and Barry Mantle. And I'll tell you, you couldn't have picked two better people, I don't think, to do as good a job. Nobody would have done a better job than what they did with their presentations. And also, Councillor Queen and Mayor Santos spoke on behalf of the Kingsville area, and they heard us. And this is just a follow-up. Now, we could have asked them for a meeting with just our council, but we would, I'm sure, have to go to them, Randy, because like I say, there's 7 of us, there's 40 of them, or 50, whatever there are. So I'm going to go to, okay.
If I could.
Okay.
Like, I hear what you're saying. I don't need Bill Baker speaking for me, though,
There isn't a motion.
respectfully. Right? I don't need Bill Baker speaking for me. I
But
want
he
to...
spoke on our behalf.
And if, pardon?
He spoke on
I don't
behalf
need-
of all of us.
We know what Bill Baker does for us,
Well,
right?
we know.
But outside of that, is all I'm asking, if we have to go to Windsor, we got to go to Toronto, we'll go. We'll go.
Great.
I'll get a van from Chrysler's, I'll do whatever I got to do, and we'll go. Like, I'm not an advocate of just a ladder and fluffing it off. We got to put some potatoes into it.
I agree. Councillor Caxero.
Through your worship, at this point, they're not closing any school. They're doing another review. That's the process is they go through this ARC review. Okay, so, but for us to want to meet with them, for what? That's why I'm suggesting that the letters say, yes, that we want to be a part of that process, so that at the end of the day, our school isn't getting closed. That after they've done that review, we've had some input, and their recommendation out of that review is that they're not going to close Harrow. So, I mean, that's to me, that's the process. So I think it is important to send a letter suggesting that, yes, we want to be a part of the process, as Kingsville probably will do, as Amherstburg will probably do. And hopefully through that process, if they hear us through that process and they allow us to be a voice at the table, we won't have a recommendation coming from the school board to close any of those schools. That's what I would hope for as the best case scenario for us, for Amherstburg, for Kingsville, for the whole county. Because the bottom line is, the school board's made up of more directors from the city than there are from the county. If they want to build a new school in the city, guess where they're going to close spots? They're going to close spots in the county, so they can build a new school in the city. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. So that's, to me, that's the process we should follow. I mean, certainly meeting with them is not a bad thing, but I think meeting with them on a consultative basis as opposed to, because they haven't said they're going to close the school. That's, I mean, there's no point in going to them and demanding them to not close the school because they haven't said they're going to.
Councilor Bjorkman?
Thank you, Your Worship. Through Your Worship, to our representative, Lauren, being in the school, I hate to put you on the spot, but since we are talking about your school, what is the sense in the school? Is there talk about that? Do you guys feel that pressure on you that people are looking at your school and talking about closing it? How does that affect you?
I know for a fact that the teachers are all talking about it at the school, and the students as well, because the younger students in grade 9 or 10, and they go to Harrow, and then they go, if the school closes, they lose scholarship opportunities. And I also believe that Harrow, the high school in Harrow, is basically the whole community. Without it, Harrow would just be another drive-through town.
Thank you, Steve. They're up next. Both of them, I have their names on the list, but thanks. Olivia, you have any comments?
I know I don't go to that school, but I agree with Lauren. It's scary being, I'm sure, in grade 9 and thinking that your school is going to close. Like, a high school experience is a huge part of all the students' lives, and I know that would be a huge fear, along with all the teachers there. And I know it's a small school, but getting bused every day, that would be a huge inconvenience in all those people's lives, and that would lose a lot of jobs in Harrow. And I agree with Councillor Vokes in that I think we should talk to the board, even if you want to get students from Essex and Harrow involved, because I know they haven't said they're going to close it yet, but I believe we should speak to them before they say that.
Thank you very much, ladies. Recommendation, Councilor Bondi.
I'd like to put a motion forward that the Council of the Town of Essex write a letter to the Essex County District School Board reaffirming the importance and the commitment of this council to the long-term future education of Harrow Center, and that we extend a welcoming hand to invite them to meet with our council and to allow us to have a working relationship with them during the accommodation review, or something like that.
Supported by Councilor Caxaro. Any discussion? Councilor Vokes?
Yeah, it would. I would just like a friendly amendment to that, include administration, because that was just council. We certainly would like our money lady there.
Okay with the mover, seconder? Bill? Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Can I ask for a recorded vote?
Why, we can all just yell yes, don't say putting the hands up. Okay. Recorded vote. Councilor Vokes.
Councillor Vokes? Councillor Caxaro? Councillor Bjorkman?
Support.
Deputy Mayor Milosh?
Support?
Mayor McDermott?
Support.
Councillor Bondi?
Support. Thank you, Council.
Councillor Vokes? Oh, sorry, I already asked you. I'm sorry. With a recorded vote of 6 in support, the motion is carried.
Thank you very much. We don't need to. Okay, go back to 13 new business A. Mayor McDermott, alternate for mayor in the town's emergency management team. Last week, we had an emergency management meeting again. We have that every so often. This is the next one. Did they say January or May? May? There's another one coming up in May. And Phil Berthiaume and Eddie Pilon, our chief, who put on the last one, are worried that no one is attending, like our deputy mayor takes the mayor's position when it comes to filling his chair. So Richard, they were thinking if you're not able, say I'm not there for that meeting in May, or we have an emergency in January and I'm unable to attend that meeting, that you're going to fill in for me, and if you're not able to, we need someone else that might be able to attend these sessions so they, have an idea what they're doing in case of an emergency. Like, we have to do this every 3 times a year, or whatever it is. So if the deputy mayor isn't able to because of work, would someone else be able to? And these things are usually, well, it was, I think, 9 o'clock or 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning when we have these, so, yeah. And they're 2 or 3 hours, so it takes up your morning to go through these training sessions. So if someone would like to put their name forward, you can think it over for a couple of weeks or whatever. Our next meeting, maybe we can discuss this again, and, you might find time to say, I'll put my name in for that position, so, whatever. Councilor Cachero.
Through your worship, I would be more than willing to do something like that, if there isn't anybody else on council that wishes to do so.
And I haven't talked to the deputy mayor. He may be able to do it too, now that there's been a concern, because nobody else has ever done that. Like, we have, the clerk, we have a replacement for the clerk, and the fire chief, there's somebody else there, to do his job if he's not available in an emergency. So I'll talk to Richard too. So thanks, Bill. And just think it over, everyone else, thanks. Looking for that, how do you say that word? A-D-J? Oh, Councilor Cachero.
Through you, your worship, I was wondering if it'd be appropriate, at least to resolve the issue with respect to the Police Services Board. I know our secretary wants to have a meeting set up, hopefully for this week, later this week, and we still have not made appointments to the ALC Board, and there was a couple other committees also.
I was just informed by the clerk we already approved all of those appointments.
But PSB.
But Police Services Board. So we're going to have to bring that back up, I would think.
Okay.
You remember which one that was? Or we can deal with bills. Oh, yeah.
1378, so 76.
Okay.
Through your worship, there has to be a motion to bring this back up for discussions.
Okay, Councilor Cachero.
Through your worship to Cheryl, would we not just rescind the bylaw and then, no? Okay.
Through your worship, once a decision has been made, council needs to have the majority of members who voted with the majority of the bylaw, which this time was to pass it as, I had put as amended, so, sorry. I had already looked at this. So council has to approve it coming back by majority, and then they can go on and discuss it again. And as far as the ELK members, that does not have to be done tonight. As far as I was under the impression that ELK, the current board will continue to meet as is until a new board is presented, but I would have to ask my director, Mrs. Hunter, to confirm that.
Through you, your worship, that's correct. Right now, the board from the previous term of council is still the active board. Should there need to be a meeting before you set the members for the new ELK board? So it could be operable. Usually there is not a meeting in December, and usually the meetings are near the end of the month, so your next meeting for ELK would likely be near the end of January, so you have time.
I have a question with regards to bylaw number 1376. Can I ask you a question? The bylaw states that the Police Services Act, section such and such, it says head of the council, and/or if he doesn't want to sit on they appoint somebody in his place, and also one person. The only problem with us having passed this bylaw that I see is we have two people whose names are in there to sit with the mayor. So we need to bring it back to the table to discuss the two positions outside of the mayor. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. So someone needs to make that resolution that we bring it back. Councilor Caxaro.
I'll move to bring that back on the table.
And Deputy Mayor Malar, support. Any questions?
So are we bringing it back on the table to try to determine who will remain on that board? That's what we're doing? Let me speed this along for you.
Okay.
Because the night of the committee structure, I questioned the composition of the board. Made it very clear, right? And ultimately, it is what it is. So to clear things up and expedite things along, I have a willingness to step down from that board. But I'm going to let this council know I have a very great interest in sitting on that elk board, because that will free my time up to sit on the elk board. And that's where it stands right now with me. So if I want that to be known to council, that I have a strong willingness to remove myself off the police service board, but have an interest in the elk board moving forward. And I'll just leave that up to council for now. To move this file along and clear it up so we can move forward.
Yep. Okay, anyone else? Any comments? So we have the motion on the floor to bring it back. That's what we're going to vote on right now. Okay? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Now, Councilor Caxaro?
Through your worship, if Councillor Vokes is stepping aside, then I would suggest we just change the names on the bylaw to read that it would be yourself and myself that would sit on the board. Just adjusting your name for Councillor Vokes.
Okay, Councilor Vokes?
I'll support that, hearing my interest.
Okay. And that is going to be Bill. And me. Nobody else put their name down. No. Okay. Councilor Bjorkman?
Can I make a motion?
Nope, we got one on the floor, haven't we? Oh, we don't. Go ahead, Steve.
So I make a motion that the Police Services Board be represented by Mayor McDermott and Councillor Caxaro.
Supported by? Support. Councilor Vokes, okay. Any questions to the motion? All in favor? Motion carried. Did we have comments from over here? I wasn't looking.
Through you, your worship, before passing this bylaw, again, just one other amendment. The mural committee is still on it, so if that can be changed to act.
Through your worship, I will, but at the time this bylaw was drafted, council hadn't adopted this report. What I will do is I will change that off, strike it out, and re-advertise for the new committee, and let the members who applied for mural committee know that we're going to change it to see if the names will stand, but I also will ask for more names as well.
Thank you, Doug. Councilor Caxaro.
Through your worship, I'm not sure if it's the wishes of council, if they do want to appoint the elk board tonight, but if they do, I certainly wouldn't mind doing it.
Does everyone have the outside appointees?
I do.
List of them?
I do.
Because I haven't even
I
given
have
them.
the list.
Donna?
Through your worship, I believe you were adding another resident, one from Essex, one from Harrow. That has not been advertised that way. I think we need to re-advertise for those appointments.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We can't be doing that tonight, people.
I would agree. Thank you. Okay, you're going to, Councilor Caxaro.
Just a point of clarification, though, Donna, when that was advertised, it was advertised in both centers, correct? And it was advertised as we were only going to have one member. I don't think it would deter somebody from applying for it if they knew there was going to be two members.
Yes, there was, it was advertised in 2 centers. It's just now you're being more specific. You want one resident from Essex, one resident from Harrow. That wasn't advertised in that fashion.
Fair enough. I mean,
Councilor Vokes.
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're going to start with the young ladies. I'll give you about 30 seconds to wish your constituents, mums and dads, Merry Christmas. Last chance. Okay, Lauren, you're first. Okay, we'll go this way. Councilor Vokes.
Actually, I had something I wanted to raise real quickly under new business that I said in the boardroom tonight,
yes.
and I know that, I'm aware of that, Mrs. Mondi, but I apologize to everybody that I
Last mistake
overlooked
we
it.
make this year.
Give me
ahead.
3 minutes and shut my mic off if I'm not done.
Okay, yes.
Go ahead.
There- Two things, real quickly. One is I'm asking council to support the approval of the repair of Mr. Cassidy's driveway, so we can close that and move on.
What's your other item?
And the next item I have is when it comes to our downtown corridor, I would like to have administration or our planning department, if they could assist. When I look at our empty storefronts downtown and the landlords that keep them up, I don't want to impose any financial burden on them, because we as a council recognize that the real estate is empty and there's no revenue being generated, relevant to the fact that I believe they get a little bit of a tax recess when the facility isn't being utilized. But I would like to see a policy put in place just on some standards that keeps the place painted and things nailed up. When I look at the store downtown that during the windstorm about 5 or 6 weeks ago had the siding peeled off it, we're right back into that same dilemma we had with the awning. That we couldn't get it put back up and people are nosing that. So that's where it would fit. It would fit something like that. And without that, our storefronts downtown look horrible. And I'm just saying that a couple nails and a gallon of paint will take you a long way, policed by our planning department or policed by our inspectors, where they just go in and they politely ask them to freshen up based on our policy. So if that has to be talked to during council discussions at our next meeting, I'm willing to do that, but I just want to let council know that's what we should be looking at that. Because it doesn't fall under property standards all the time, right? And the stores fall apart. And there's nothing says to them, you got to keep it up. So anyways, those are my 2 items of concern.
Well, once again, speaking about the driveway, I think we need to, I don't know what Dave wants done with his driveway. He wants it fixed. But you heard in the back room tonight when we were just talking, he wants this or he wants that. He doesn't care about this, but he cares about that. And to say, let's fix his driveway, we don't know what he needs to have fixed in it. I think we do, but not all of us do. So I don't know, we need something put down, like we need to go there with administration, says this is what's going to happen or this isn't going to happen. Like I'm not prepared to make a decision here tonight, I'll tell you that for sure, Randy. And with regards to the downtown, I think we need some kind of report back, and I hate to do this, administration, but as to what we can do. I know what we should be doing, same as you, let's go do it ourselves, but what can we do? So we need to get that report back from administration is what we can do downtown with these people that let things go.
If it takes a report, that's fine. Whatever it takes to get it initiated and get the word out that we're watching, and we're trying to be proactive as much as we can as a council to the downtown.
I agree. Anyone else? Okay, Randy?
So in relationship to the driveway, so is somebody from the town gonna contact Mr. Cassidy to talk to him? I just don't want to leave here and go, well, I think they're
Well,
gonna
I
fix it.
think that's what we need to do, is have Mr. Nepsey's department down there. Dave, what do you think you need? What do you think we're going to do for them? You know, we got to be there just and decide on the spot. And we can do that. Like, we can set that meeting up just over emails. Yep, and I'll get on that, Randy, promise.
Thank you, I'll end it at that.
Okay, you want to say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year? We're starting with,
Obviously, I want to take the opportunity to wish everybody on council and administration a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I extend that out to obviously the community of Essex. Thank you.
Jerry, thanks.
Just the same, we've had a fantastic 2014, and I hope 2015 is equally as successful, and I look forward to the new council, and I hope all our residents have a safe and happy holiday and Christmas season. Stop kicking me.
Deputy Mayor Malash.
Thank you, through you, your worship. Just a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all the residents of Essex, and particularly Ward 2, obviously. But to administration and my fellow councilors, have a great Christmas holiday, and be ready to put some hard work in there when we get back in January. Budget time.
Councilor Bjorkman.
Thank you, through your worship. I'd like to wish a Merry Christmas to everybody in Essex, and my friends that are up in the back row. Merry Christmas. And just looking forward to the experience of serving our town. Thank you.
Councilor Caxero.
I'd like to wish all of the administration and council a prosperous holiday season. And I guess seeing as we have somebody from administration and somebody from council kind of going through some health issues, I wish everybody the best of health in the new year. Certainly, we can't accomplish much without our health. We can accomplish everything with our health. So that's very important.
Thank you. Olivia.
Yeah, I'd like to wish the council a Merry Christmas and the town of Essex, and I'd just like to say I'm happy to be on board for part of the new year.
Good girl. Lauren.
I would also like to wish council and the town of Essex a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I am also thankful to be part of the board.
Thank you. And on behalf of myself and my family, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, be good because Santa Claus is coming, and 10 more sleeps. Councilor Caxero mentioned Larry and Russ. We have some other people I know in our municipality that are ill, so remember them in your prayers, please. Thank you very much. Have a great one. Motion to adjourn. Councilor Caxero and Councilor Bondi. All in favor? Motion carried. Have a great evening, everyone.